Today I'm going to be talking about self-care, which I think is so important for social work and sometimes can sound like a bit of a soft topic, and it shouldn't, because it's absolutely essential for people to be able to function as human beings. And I think it's really sad in social work how you see some really kind people that have come into a profession who just it just takes away from who they are, and like people just can't cope, and I just think it's really sad. And I think there's obviously a lot of things that need to be done to improve social work structurally, but what I'm going to be talking about are things that have helped me or other people, that you can take control of yourself. And I just wanted to make the point, because it was recently said on Twitter when I was having a discussion about resilience, that we shouldn't be made to feel like it's only our responsibility to be resilient, because it's part of the support that we should get as social workers to be able to do what we've come into the profession to do. So I just wanted to make that point before we start. But anyway, I found this Instagram page that I found was really useful. It's called Social Workers Rise. And she puts this point on that says, if you know what to do for self-care, then why are you burnt out? And I think that it is one of those things where you're a social worker and people are like, well, you know what to do to make yourself feel better, or you intellectually know it, so why aren't you doing anything to make it better for yourself? And I think it's really important to understand that just because you know something doesn't mean that it's easy to apply, because otherwise you'd be able to do everything in the world. And I think it's like a muscle, like you have to build it and you have to practice it. And I personally find that when everything's going really well and I feel on top of things and I'm keeping up with exercise and things and I'm eating well, everything seems to go well. But the moment that things are getting on top of me and I feel really stressed, and it's like everything just starts to fall apart and I don't feel like I'm managing, and that's when it's really hard to implement self-care strategies and things like that. And that's when it's really important that you actually do it. She talks about some surface level self-care, which is things like bubble baths or scrolling on your phone for hours and hours, or comfort food, and just like drinking alcohol. And these are all things that are like nice to do, but they are surface level, so they're just things that make you feel better in the moment. But if you are dealing with toxic stress that's like horrible and you feel like it's taken over and everything's starting to feel really bleak, you need to do more than just that. And I think obviously at those points sometimes you do need like professional support, because once you stop asking yourself good questions, like sometimes we need other people to help us with that. But things that you can do yourself are around building relationships, getting better boundaries, mindset shifts, focusing on what's important to you, establishing priorities, and being your own advocate. I wanted to read this out because I just think it's so relevant, and it made me think about something I learnt on the Dare to Lead programme by Brené Brown, and she talks about arena moments. I do a lot of like work on myself, and I think I've learned from being in social work that it's not about where you particularly work, which role you're in. The best thing you can do, rather than putting yourself under pressure to think, well, I need to be in this place to get these skills and then I need to do this and this and this. It's like really focus on what you're building in yourself and your character, and take moments to reflect on it. And it can make you feel really proud and really good, and I think it leaves you not needing that affirmation from other people, and I think it's one of the best things you can do. So I'll give you an example. So I always feel like I'm really good at standing up for other people, but I sometimes find it hard with myself, and it annoys me because I think I don't want to be like that. Like it makes you feel stressed and fed up, and sometimes, you know, where you feel like, you know, you sort of find afterwards that you wish you'd said something. I've been working on my assertiveness skills, and there was a moment where I just felt that I perfectly dealt with a situation that in the past I'd have found really hard. And I wasn't like, I'm not saying that I was like horrible to the person. I was really like kind, but I didn't sort of take anything. And I think things like that are really important. And I'm reading a book about, which is a self-care book, but it's very, very good, and it's called Letting Go, The Pathway of Surrender. And it's absolutely brilliant because it really teaches you about how to let go of like uncomfortable emotions. And sometimes I feel like, because I like to be liked and that's my natural thing, which I am getting over, it's like it's letting go of those emotions. So sometimes in social work you just don't always get it right, and we're sometimes blamed for things, and even sometimes you can feel like you haven't got anyone on your side and things are coming at you. And sometimes when you're getting loads of work and you're getting loads of things coming at you from all directions, it can be like little arrows coming at you from all directions. You just feel like you can't deal with anything else, and it's like your cup's just full and anything else would just tip you over the edge. And it's something that it brought up in this book I just thought was a really good point, because it says that you need to be able to accept whatever happens, so either outcome. There was a situation I was dealing with recently where I was really worried about it, and it came to Friday night and then I had to leave for the weekend, and I just really wanted to stay in work all weekend and just sort it out, but you can't. And I find stuff like that really hard, like sitting with that uncertainty. But then I got back after the weekend and I found that it had sort of sorted itself out, and I thought, oh, well, I've wasted all that weekend worrying about something that hasn't even happened. And I think that is the case with a lot of the situations, and I think social work itself is just dealing with uncertainty a lot. But I think it's also about taking time to really think and breathe, and just taking a moment to think, am I okay, and like, do I need support, and not feeling bad for asking for it. So I've had to be more boundary lately with saying I can't pick this up, or I can't do this, or whatever, when I really feel like it's making me feel too overwhelmed. Because unless you say it, sometimes people just pile things on you. And on Twitter, some people have different opinions on this, because they say that, you know, managers should take responsibility for knowing when you're overstretched, and it shouldn't just be you. And I totally agree with that. But I also think that you have to be your own advocate, like it says on this feed. It's like on Instagram, you have to advocate for yourself, otherwise you could just be taken down like by everything. And I think it's about knowing when you're in the right place with the right people. And I think one of the things that it sounds quite funny but has helped me in my career is thinking of myself as self-employed even when I'm working for other people. And by that, it's like thinking of yourself as an entrepreneur. So what am I gaining from this situation? What am I doing? Am I like having the impact on other people that I want to have? And obviously from one day to the next you might not feel that way, but think about it overall and think, am I in the right place? And that's kind of helped me guide me with what I'm going to do in my career, and know what roles I want to take, and not feeling bad if one's not for me, or I don't feel like it's the best use of my skills. And I think not necessarily thinking you're in the wrong in every situation. Like, there's things that I'm working through, and I think it's a journey, and like, it's not a competition, self-care and resilience and things like that. It's not something that you can compare against other people, and it totally depends on everything you've got going on in your life. But I think it's really important. I think my main recommendation is maybe listen to the audiobook, and I'll put a link below, and let me know in the comments below if you've got any specific tips on self-care. I'll probably do more videos like this, but I've just touched on a few things today. So if you like this video, if you could like and subscribe, that would be great. Thank you. Bye.